Mirza.
Shazia-mirza, yeah.
Shazia-mirza.
Yeah.
Okay, and good morning, Shazia.
Good morning, Terry.
How are you?
Is that how you say it?
Terry, that is exactly as I say it, yes. Getting me at my own game. I love that. Let's talk about this tour you're doing. You're doing a tour, and the show is called The Kardashians Made Me Do It.
Yes, now, have you heard of the Kardashians?
I have heard of the Kardashians. I'm afraid I have. Never seen them. I know Kim Kardashian and her famous derriere.
Is that all you know about?
That is all I know about them. And I'm sure there's lots of other people who've never heard of the Kardashians.
Sorry?
I'm sure there's lots of other people who've never heard of the Kardashians
no, I think most people have heard of the Kardashians.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
okay.
They're kind of everywhere.
Yeah, well, they're all over the place, but I it's not really they're not really my scene, I'm afraid, which is perhaps
they're not really my scene either. I have to tell you, the show is not about the Kardashians.
No, tell everybody what the show is about, then.
The show is about ISIS.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Have you heard of them?
I know who they are, yes. I don't know them personally, right, which is probably a good thing, really.
So it's called The Kardashians Made Me Do It. And the show's about ISIS and jihadi brides and why young girls and boys are going to join ISIS. It's a comedy show. It is funny. I know it doesn't sound funny, but it's hilarious. I did the show at the Edinburgh Festival last year in August, and it went really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it for 2 weeks at the Tricycle Theatre in London. It went really well, and now I'm taking it on tour.
Yeah, and you're coming to the area. Well, we'll get the plug in quickly. It's on Friday, the 5th of February. You're at the Aylesbury Queen's Park Arts Centre.
Yeah,
and
I love Aylesbury. I've been to Aylesbury before.
Have you? It's a lovely town, isn't it?
It's a lovely town.
It's got a beautiful market square, and it's
very pretty, and it's very nice and civilised. So I'm coming to. I'm going to come to the village, aren't I? The village of Aylesbury.
Yeah, well, it's a small town. You live in London now, don't you?
I live in the big city.
In the big smoke, so everywhere.
I am from Birmingham originally. Obviously, I don't live there anymore because I'm doing well. But I don't know why people are ashamed to say they're from Birmingham. It looks quite nice now that it's finished.
Yeah.
And I'm from Birmingham, but I live in London. I've lived in London for many, many years. So, and I've been to Aylesbury before. I love it.
Yeah.
The people are always up for a laugh, and they're really great fun. Now, I've always had great gigs in Aylesbury.
That's good. But how did you sort of get into comedy? Because you were originally a science teacher.
I was a science teacher. And it was difficult, I taught in a very rough school in a rough area of London. They hated me, I hated them. And the way to get along, really, was I used to tell them jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got along. I used to tell them jokes. I used to try and make them laugh. They used to say, "Miss, you're not funny." And they were the worst hecklers. And I thought that's where I learnt my stuff, really, was in the classroom.
And is it right you taught Dizzy Rascal?
I tried to. It was difficult, while he was climbing the walls and stuff.
Was he a bad boy?
Dylan Mills is his real name.
Is
yes,
it?
I did. And it's so funny because when I see him now, I saw him at some event recently, and I was walking up this to the entrance of the cinema, and he ran after me going, Miss! Oi, Miss! And I thought, what are you doing? I have not been your teacher now for about 10 years. You can't just keep calling me Miss in public. It's like some comedy awards, and I'm walking up the carpet, and he goes, Miss! Oi, Miss!
I have this...
This is really embarrassing.
Yeah, I have this sort of thing that often the truth or the real events are actually funnier than the stuff you can actually write.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like they say, you couldn't make it up.
You couldn't, I know. I mean... And
a lot of times, the stuff that a lot of times when I'm on stage and I'm saying something, and people are, laughing, they'll come up to me afterwards and they go, that bit, that wasn't true, was it?
Oh.
And I think, actually, the bit you laughed the hardest at is the truth.
Yeah, and I often say that, and it comes up comes out so many times. Now you became you became to UK worldwide sort of attention around the time of September the 11th, 2001.
Yeah, can I just say I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. I know you're not guilty, but you were famous for saying, at least that's what I say on my pilot's license.
No, the joke was, I'd come on stage after 9/11, I'd say, hello, my name's shazia-mirza. At least that's what it says on my pilot's license.
Yes, and I bet that I bet that split the room a little bit, didn't it? There was
No, actually.
No, it didn't.
Everybody went for it, and everybody laughed. Everybody thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the great joke, but it's a bit like we all remember the famous Anne Robinson and her put downs on The Weakest Link.
Yeah.
I was out in America when the first one went out in the States, and she had this. She used to take the mickey out of the contestants, and one of the guys she had on was a gynecologist, and she said, I think I need to keep my feet on the floor tonight. And half the room laughed and half the room was sort of nervous about it. And it often happens. I do a lot of comedy clubs, go to a lot of comedy clubs and that. And it's sort of some jokes split the room.
Do you know something? That joke of mine didn't split the room.
No, that's good. Well, that's great.
People either laughed. Everybody either laughed or everybody didn't laugh. It was very strange.
Mm.
I mean, I have done jokes that have split the room, but not that one, really.
Do you like to push the envelope a little bit?
I don't go... It's funny because I don't go out of my way to be controversial or upset people, or... I don't do any of that.
No.
I don't like to upset people. I don't like to offend people. I don't like to go out of my way to cause controversy. I just kind of just want to be myself and say what I want to say.
Mm.
And often, saying what I want to say, that does cause people to react well or not well or cause controversy. But I don't go out of my way to do that. No.
So you'd say you were forthright rather than trying to be offensive?
I just like to tell the truth.
Yeah, that's not wrong. I mean, I need to talk to you about in 2007 you did the BBC Three documentary, and I can't mention one of the words, but the second word is "off. I'm a hairy woman." Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, basically, you know how like now these days feminism is in fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, everybody's a feminist. You get these page 3 girls coming out saying, "I'm a feminist." Everybody says they're a feminist. You know, it's fashionable to say you're a feminist. It's cool to say you're a feminist. And but there was a time where it was a taboo. Mm. You said you're a feminist, people would just think, "Oh God, you're just a hairy lesbian. You're just a miserable woman." But now it's acceptable. Well, there was a time when, if you said you were a hairy woman, being a hairy woman was not fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
It was a taboo. It was like a taboo to say that you grew your hair and you didn't bother shaving your legs. It was a taboo. So I did this program about why being a hairy woman is a taboo, how people react to hairy women, and I grew my body hair for about 9 months, and went round with my legs not shaved and my arms not shaved, to see how people would react and to see if I could live with myself.
And how did people react
to see how easy it would be to live with myself as a hairy woman.
How did people react to you?
You get these two types of men here. There's men who think it's really great and sexy and it's a bit of a fetish for them.
Mm.
And then you get other men who just think it's disgusting. You think it's absolutely disgusting. You don't look after yourself. You don't know anything about grooming. It's terrible. You need to go and shave your legs.
Mm. Split the room again, but never mind. You also do a bit of writing. You've written for The Guardian since 2004, and you do write for The New Statesman, and you won Columnist of the Year in 2008.
Yeah, I write a lot for The Guardian. I also write the odd article for the FT and the Mail, and I always kind of make it funny, It's always satire. There's so much to talk about, I just make it funny and try to, have a laugh,
Yeah. And you also appear on Channel 5's The Right Stuff.
I do, yeah.
I bet that's fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's such a laugh. Matthew Wright is such a laugh.
He's a wicked man, isn't he?
He's really great at his job, though.
Oh, no, I'm wicked as in a sense of humour.
He's such a funny, intelligent guy. He's really great at his job. It's a great show. I think it's a really good show, you know.
I do. I've watched it myself, and I must have seen you on there, I must admit, because I do watch it, and because I can't stand the other guy on the other channel. We won't mention his name, but...
Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because that's what Matthew says. No, we won't mention him on the other channel.
No, he does my head in. I want to put my foot through the screen, have to watch.
You think that other guy, in a way, he helps people?
Well, he does, yeah. I mean, the only thing I worry about is that there's people on there sort of for a minimal amount of money, and they think they're going to be famous, sort of...
Is that why you think they do it?
Well, I don't know. It's almost like prostituting yourself on TV. I don't know. It's just my opinion. It annoys me, basically, but I do enjoy Matthew because he's a very intelligent man, as you say. He knows his stuff. He's been around for years, and he's a great journalist as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I love this bit. I read this quote from you on your website. It says, "I could have been married. I could have married a rich man and lived in a mansion in Bishop's Avenue with servants, bidets, and horses. But instead, I chose to drive up and down the country for as little as £10, staying in dirty, lurid bed and breakfast, trying to make people laugh. I thought of giving up, but no man wants to marry me. Now I've dabbled in jokes, and one day I hope to have a cleaner and a jacuzzi."
Kind of a joke, but it's kind of true.
Is it? So
yeah. I mean, we could have all had the easy way out, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's I guess Bishop's Avenue is that a district of Birmingham?
No.
It's London, is it?
Avenue is where the Sultan of Brunei has a house in London.
I live out in rural Bedfordshire, so I know about that.
It's got massive houses. The Sultan of Brunei, Arab princes have all got their massive houses on Bishop's Avenue.
Okay. Let's ask you one thing. When you were growing up, who did you said when you were at school, teaching, you sort of told jokes and that. Who was your sort of comedy hero growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, we always used to have comedy on the television.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mum used to like Kenny Everett, Frankie Howard, all the gay ones. My mum used to like all those. She'd go, "Oh, they're funny. They're really funny. Why do they talk like that? So funny." And she never realised they were gay, but she really liked all the gay comedians. She loved Frankie Howard. She loved Frankie Howard. Imagine you're just a Pakistani woman come over from Pakistan and you see Frankie Howard. She was in love with him.
I saw Frankie perform live once. An opening for him was Hot Gossip.
Oh, really?
And I remember him coming on stage. He goes, how the hell am I going to follow that? There was a few other words in there, but I don't really want to be taken off the air. But he was brilliant, and he was to me one of the comedy legends. I'm an old man, a lot older than you, and to me he was a comedy legend. And I don't think he was perhaps people realised. I don't think my mother probably realised he was gay either.
My mum loved Kenny Everett.
Yeah.
And we always had comedy on, Les Dawson and Frankie Howard, Kenny Everett. We always had these people on the telly. Mm. Are You Being Served? John Inman. She loved John Inman.
Yes.
It was always on telly. My dad really liked Dave Allen. And on a Sunday, we'd always watch Dave Allen. And I didn't know that was stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. It's just something we watched, and I'd never actually been to a comedy club in my life till I started doing stand-up.
Really?
I'd only ever watched them on TV, and I never ever been to a comedy club in my life. It wasn't something that I thought that I could do. I thought it's just what white men did. But we always had comedy on, and it must have kind of seeped in somehow.
So, your first night on stage, was it sort of one of these open mic nights?
Yeah. And I did loads of them.
I guess you did.
For about 4 or 5 years, I did loads of them. I mean, that's all I used to do. And a lot of them I died. I died badly. I got heckled. I got told to shut up. You're not funny. Get off. Get married. I was on stage one night and this bloke shouted at me, I said, "Look, why don't you just shut up and get married?"